He wasn't crazy then, but he crazy now. All of a sudden he crazy now. You want to lay in a mental hospital? You done murdered my son, man, for nothing? When he was trying to get away from you. You were trying to get away from you, man.
My beautiful daughter Lisa is going to spend eternity in heaven. And you are going to spend eternity in hell with two others that I know for sure are there. Burn, piece of shit.
It starts with a scream broken by grief, a father's voice cracking in a courtroom that cannot contain his pain. You had no right to take her from me. Why did you kill my baby? The words shake the room, but the man on trial sits still, eyes hollow, hands folded like nothing ever happened. His silence becomes a second crime, and the rage that erupts from the gallery becomes a reminder of how unbearable loss can be. This is not just a courtroom. It is a fallout zone where families collide with the people who destroyed their lives, where justice is slow and grief is louder than any gavel. And at the center of one of the most emotionally explosive courtroom moments stands a man named Lukace Kendle. Lukace Kendle, the security guard who called it defense, but the family called it execution. When 26-year-old Lukace Kendle walked into work as a security guard at Club Lex in Miami in 2012, no one imagined the night would end with two men on the ground and a family demanding answers. The confrontation began in a parking lot. Just three people, a heated exchange, and a gun. But what happened next was something the victims' families could never forgive. Prosecutors said Kendle opened fire, killing 29-year-old Kijuan Bird, and leaving Michael Smathers permanently paralyzed from the waist down when Kendle was arrested and charged with second-degree murder and attempted murder. He was moved from jail to a mental hospital for evaluation. And that is when the tension truly began. His defense team insisted he was deteriorating, slipping into a fetal position, refusing to eat, refusing to speak. They argued. He needed to stay in the mental hospital, not return to prison, but inside the courtroom. One man was not having any of it. Kijuan Bird's father, Donald Bird, stood up, his voice breaking into raw anguish. He wasn't crazy when he murdered my son. He wasn't crazy then. But he crazy now. He want another hospital. The grief in his voice was not anger. It was heartbreak weaponized by the truth about loss. The judge tried to calm the courtroom, but the father continued reliving the moment his son tried to escape, only to be shot again and again.
Man, and you kept shooting him while his back was under the truck. You kept shooting him, man. You kept shooting him in his back. His back was tight to you, man. He was trying to get away from you, and you murdered him, man, like that. You murdered him, man, like that. Why you doing it?
Even as he slid under a truck trying to shield himself, security pulled him out as he screamed through tears, a parent begging for the universe to rewrite a day that will never change. After the outburst, two court-appointed doctors deemed Kendle competent to stand trial. But instead of accepting counsel, Kendle fired his lawyer and insisted he would represent himself. But something became clear, whether it was defiance, denial, or psychological collapse. Kendle refused to participate. "I am not going to represent myself," he said. "I refuse to participate in this charade." He tried invoking Florida's stand your ground law, claiming he felt threatened. But the jury did not accept his version of events. The trajectory, the scene, the details. The story just did not add up when the verdict came. It was final and unforgiving life in prison, without the possibility of parole. But the haunting part is not the verdict. It is the echo of the father's voice, the one line that hung in the air long after Kendle was escorted out. He kept shooting him while his back was under the truck. It was more than testimony. It was a father describing the last moment he believes his son felt fear.
I wish you nothing but bad luck and bad health. I wish whatever prison you go to, the most violent prisoner there hates you too, and that you're scared of him every day. I wish you hate prison and you want out.
Dennis Alsip, the drunk driver who took a daughter away forever. If Kendle's case is the story of a father exploding with grief, the next is a mother drowning in it on July 16, 2012. 22-year-old Lisa Hastings was driving to work in Cincinnati when her car was hit head-on by an SUV driven by 19-year-old Dennis Alsip. Alsip was not just distracted, according to prosecutors. He was allegedly under the influence of both drugs and alcohol. The SUV rolled onto Lisa's car, crushing the small vehicle and leaving the EMT nurse grievously injured. She fought for 2 days in the hospital machines, keeping her heartbeat alive, but eventually she passed away. Her mother walked into the courtroom holding grief like a weapon. Alsip spoke first, offering an apology. "I cannot imagine the pain your family is in. I am truly sorry, I feel horrible." But Lisa's mother, Karen Hastings, was unmoved. Her voice cracked, but her words were sharp. "When they asked if you knew what you did, you said no. This is what you did." She held a picture. Her daughter's grave, a place no mother should ever need to visit. Then came the line, "No courtroom could silence you, should have killed yourself. Not my daughter." It was not a threat. It was a mother caught between love and despair. Her grief was volcanic, unpredictable, unstoppable. She said she wished Alsip a miserable life, bad health and endless suffering. She wished he would never see another birthday. She said she hated him, not because hate was who she was, but because heartbreak had stripped everything away, except the truth. She missed her daughter. Alsip faced up to 8 years because aggravated vehicular homicide in that state carried a shockingly low maximum penalty. 8 years for a life. When the sentence was read, 8 years in prison. Lisa's family cried, not because justice was served, but because their daughter was still gone. Karen's final words broke everyone in the courtroom. "My beautiful daughter Lisa is going to spend eternity in heaven, and you are going to spend eternity in hell."
My beautiful daughter Lisa is going to spend eternity in heaven, and you are going to spend eternity in hell with 2 others that I know for sure are there. Burn, you piece of shit.
Pain makes people say things they never imagined. Grief makes even the strongest mothers collapse. And in that silence, the courtroom felt heavier than any verdict. Andy Gonzalez, the killer who faced a mother ready to take justice into her own hands. The last case is one of pure fury, where a mother's pain turns into something that borders on violence. 22-year-old Andy Gonzalez stood in court accused of murder. The transcript provides only one devastating moment. One sentence that shows exactly what this mother felt when she looked at him. "You ain't got a reason, mother, you're going to die in prison." Those words were not said calmly. They erupted like fire. The grieving mother stared directly at Gonzalez, her voice trembling, her body shaking with fury and heartbreak.
"Why did you kill my baby? You ain't got a reason. Mother, you're gonna die in prison."
She had lost her daughter, and Gonzalez was the man responsible. There were no long medical reports, no deep details, just this moment where a mother stood inches away from the person who changed her life forever. No prison sentence, no number of years could undo what happened, and she knew it. But she wanted him to know something too. He would never walk free again. He would never see the world the same way. And she hoped he felt every second of the loneliness she now lived with. Her grief was not measured. It was not restrained. It was a lightning strike, a warning, a final verdict from a mother who had run out of tears. Reflective outro. The only common thread is loss. 3 cases, 3 courtrooms, 3 families broken forever. A father begging the universe to give him 1 more minute with his son. A mother who cannot visit her daughter's grave without reliving the worst day of her life. Another mother who stands so close to her daughter's killer that she can feel her heart pounding in her chest. These are not just trials. They are aftershocks of violence. Ripples that hit families long after cameras stop rolling. And while the criminals were sentenced, none of these families got what they truly wanted: their loved ones back. Courtrooms are supposed to be places of justice, but for families like these, they become places where they must relive the nightmare, where grief has a voice, where heartbreak becomes testimony, where justice is never enough, but it is the only thing left.